Hi there, my name is Aaron Short. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today is, hang on, I'm going to turn this up. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to turn it up to watch your speakers. Hello, 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 hello. Oh, it's up all the way. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, I'm on the wrong mic. I was going to say, that's weird. There we go. 1, 2, that's better. Excuse me, it was on the MacBook microphone, which actually I hear is pretty good, but that was the wrong one. Okay, now we're good. Let me start this again. Hi there, my name is Aaron Short. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is November the 7th, Monday, November the 7th, getting close to the holidays now, people. How exciting is that? Are you ready? So I'm just going to make one more adjustment here. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, good. Now, how are you doing? Let me know how you are in the chat. Let me know if you've had a good week, if you've had any new gear come in, if you've had any realizations about old gear come in. There's been some news this week I'd like to talk about, and I've been doing some testing of the Eva speaker. I've got some thoughts on that. There'll be more videos coming, but I'll probably do some sharing today just to get some ideas for these videos that I'm making. So before I get into all that, I'll just say hi to everyone that's here. Everyone who's here. So first we had David Belcher. How you doing, David? Good afternoon, everyone, and everyone in the chat. It's good to see you. Staley says, hi, friends, making some food, but I'm here. Staley, what food are you making? Can you share that with us, please? I need to know. Aaron, do you play slide guitar? I can't even play guitar with a pick, let alone a slide, Staley. Rosanna, good evening, everyone, and everyone here in the chat. Good to see you. Hello, hello, hello. Got some news for you Martin fans this week as well. You might be interested in. Greetings from Vermont. Unseasonably warm. Yes, 70 here. 70 and sunny. Now I played yesterday and it was gloomy and raining. And then today it's sunny and 70. The weather's all over the place. Make sure you are awake before sunrise tomorrow to enjoy the setting beaver full blood moon. That sounds interesting. The setting beaver full blood moon. Wow. The last blood moon until 2025. Oh, you got the EV8. So tell me, if you purchase one, tell me your thoughts. We'll discuss it. I have many thoughts, and it's nice to bounce ideas off other people. I did the unboxing, which I thought was really, worked out really cool. It's funny how in the unboxing I say that I don't have problems with Bluetooth connectivity, and then I had a problem with Bluetooth connectivity, but I'll give you an update on if I've had a problem since then. Got some strings from StringJoy, but that's it. I cut my thumb bad and can't play that well. I'm sorry to hear that. I got those strings that you recommended to me last week, the pure nickels, and they're weird because they're all silver, look like electric guitar strings. I quite like them. I quite like them on the Cole Clark. I don't find them particularly bright. I find them quite direct sounding, which is quite nice. Can't say more than that. I want to see how long they last, because the problem with the strings of my gigging guitar is they don't last very long. Staley's making chicken pho, very nice. Patsy says it's wet and cold, and Rosanna says it's windy. Oh dear. So we've got lots to cover this week. What should I start with? I'll start with the Martin news. So this week, Chris Martin is doing workshops. You can attend. This Wednesday, he'll be at Rudy's in Scarsdale. So if you remember, I went there fairly recently to meet up with our good friend David Eidelberg, and he's going to be doing a presentation on Wednesday. You had to RSVP. I did immediately, and I don't know if there's any spaces left, but if you're in the area, you could try to attend. He's doing a bit of a tour, it seems. He's also going to be at Sam Ash in Manhattan on Thursday. I'm not going to go to that one because I'm going to the other one, and I'm not that much of a fan. And I also have a gig on Thursday, so I can't go Thursday. But I like Sam Ash, actually. I haven't been there for a while. I'd like to go to Sam Ash, but I'm looking forward to going to Rudy's in Scarsdale again. So That's Wednesday. I'll try to take some pictures and do a review on next week's show of his talk. I've been to them before. With this one, he's supposedly bringing prototypes from his collection. So that should be really interesting. I'd love to just film the whole thing, but I think that might be a bit rude. I've got some new audio equipment now, so I could do some filming, but I'll just try to get some pictures and some clips, and then I'll talk about it, at least talk about it next week. So that's exciting. Going to be at the Martin event on Wednesday at Rudy's again. So if I had time, I would do my interview there with Rudy, but I don't think he'll be busy getting ready for Chris Martin, so I don't think that's going to happen. But it's not too far away, so I'll do it another time. I'll try and grab more pictures and video this time for next week's show. Andreas says, I wrote you some thoughts via mail. Guitar without any adjustments, super impressive with my Anthem, Bags Anthem. Vocals need some tweaking, but now I have a setup without any pedals. Bose S1 Pro will go. Okay, I'll give you my thoughts on that in a second. I've got lots of thoughts on this new speaker. And the videos are doing well, so I'm gonna make more videos because I bought that thing and I do like it. And this is what I love, you see. This is what I want from the channel. Something new came out that's relevant to me and is not just a niche thing. It's not just a capo, or it's not, you know what I mean? It's not super niche. It's a speaker which will appeal to guitarists, like acoustic guitarists, electric guitarists, DJs, yoga studios. It's got a lot of mass appeal. It's exciting because it is a step up, in my opinion, from the other products, and it's something that I wanted to use at my shows. And the videos, I think, will get views, even though loads of people have made videos on this already, including some comparisons, which I'm also going to do anyway myself. So this is the kind of video I want to make. I got a few videos I want to make about products that I didn't really like, and I will make them, but it's such a drag to make those videos. I love talking about stuff that's exciting and helps me perform better. I love that. That's what I want to. That makes me want to talk about it. You can tell now I'm excited by it, right? Jim says, all new gear date. Custom Fairbanks F20 Nick Lucas reclaimed old growth redwood top from an 1878 Californian train trestle, Honduran curly hog back and sides. Congratulations. That's cool. That deserves a round of applause. That deserves a round of applause. Ready? There we go. That's better. All right. So let me focus then. Let me go to that topic now then. Let me talk about the speaker. All right. I'll tell you what I think. I'll give you like a summary. I'm going to put all this into videos. I want to make this into a video because, like I said, it's something I want to talk about and I feel like it'll get good views. So definitely want to make these videos on the speaker. And I've got a few ideas, and let me know if you've got any ideas for videos as well. The ideas that I have are obviously to talk about this compared to the other two with sound recordings, a comparison of the three big ones, which would be the Bose, the JBL, and this one. A Q&A video where I take all the comments I've had from all the videos combined on the speaker and answer the comments and questions I've had on it. And a full review after, say, a month's use. A long-term review, at least a month, and then maybe a tips and tricks video of any cool things that I've found. So at least that, if not more. But a few things I've heard from people. Some people say it's too expensive. I don't agree with that because the other ones are not that much cheaper, and I think this is better. There's a few features from this one that are missing that they could add with firmware. Don't know if they will or not, but I'll put that as a suggestion in the video as well. AV don't seem to be aggressively releasing firmware updates for their speakers, although people seem to love their speakers, like the Evolve 30, the Evolve 50, and this one. They don't seem to be like rapidly releasing features. They don't have someone like Brandon at JBL who's very visual and on the groups taking ideas and things like that. But the product is very good. Now, I didn't notice this thing here that Andreas is talking about. I felt like in my unboxing, the guitar plug straight in was excellent. I felt like plugging my Voice Live 3 into it, everything was excellent. I've had no harshness. I've had no weird sounds. With some acoustic amps and some battery powered or small speakers, you can get some harsh sounds. I've not had any of that. And then you've got all the different EQ options in there if you need to fix that as well. That's the thing. So the app, when I unboxed it, was not connecting so well. This is absolutely fine. In practice, what I find is if you reset everything, you need to delete it from your Bluetooth list and add it again. If you don't delete everything, don't do a factory reset. Each time you just turn it on, load the app, and it takes 10 seconds and you're back in again. So it's not instant, but it's not bad. You can also make changes from the device using this master volume encoder on that screen if you need to. So I'm okay with that. I don't think we need loads of physical. I mean, physical knobs are nice, but I'm quickly navigating around with that master volume. So you've got the master volume. I turn it on, put the master to mute, plug everything in, and bring the master up. Or I connect the app and use the app. I'm actually using the app with this more than I have with other products. With the other products, I felt like I'm not using the app, but with this one I am. So I'm not sure why that is, but I am. The sound is excellent. The battery life is long. I used it on Friday at a 3-hour gig. The next day it was still on half battery, still playing it all morning Saturday. I'm really, really impressed. I really like it. There's only one quibble that I have so far, and it's a small one, but it's worth noting. The finish they used is not the best. It wasn't the best finish that they chose. So this handle here, I love this. As I said in the unboxing, I love this handle. This handle is very ergonomic, easy to use, and comfortable. Some of the other products dig into the hand, and this one doesn't. The only thing is, this plastic here is very susceptible to scratches. As you saw in the unboxing video, the thing scratched, right? Well, basically, where I've put my hand in here to grab that handle, it's not that my nails are constantly rubbing against it, but just on that, when I put my hand in initially to grab the handle, any slight touch of my fingernail against that finish has caused scratches. There's actually loads of scratches on the top of that already, and I've only just got it. And the other ones don't have any scratches because I'm careful with stuff. That is a bad powdered kind of coated finish on that speaker. But does it matter? Not really. That's not really. It's not a deal breaker. It's just a observation. Why did they use that? They must have realized it was going to happen and they tested it. Did they test it? I don't know. But everything else is just excellent. It does hold up against, say, the CP8. So Fridays, I normally use the CP8. I use this one instead on Friday. I felt like initially I could feel the headroom closing in on me too quickly. I was a bit scared that it's not enough power. This is 400 watts. The CP8 is 1000 watts. Of course, it won't have the headroom, but it got loud. And I actually took out my dB app, my sound level app from my phone, and it did hit 121 decibels at 2 meters away, or a meter, whatever. I think they judge it by a meter, right? 1 meter. It hit that exactly, and it wasn't distorted. There was just a slight compression kicking in from the, obviously, they have a built-in limiter, right? These speakers. So it does everything. That's really nice. It does everything they said it would do. And that's really nice. Some products, they let you down. Some products say they'll achieve something and they don't. So I'm really impressed. If I tell you what, if you're looking for a battery-powered speaker, if you're looking for a PA system, I give it my full endorsement. I've only had it for a week. I need to do more testing. There will be a full review. Please watch all the videos on the EV. I'm trying to get those views up in general anyway, but especially on products like that. I'd like to reach out to EV and maybe talk to them about having them on or looking at some of the other PA systems they make. I really am a fan. I really like what they've done with this. And I'd also like to give them the feedback that I have of anything that they could possibly add. But I'm really blown away. It sounds great. It's portable. I carried it from a subway to a venue without stopping. You know, it's not as light as they say. I think I weighed them all myself. I think it's more like 17 point something pounds, but still very, very doable. 400 watts. It's excellent. I could use that. I could probably use one or two of those for everything that I ever do. It's excellent. It's so good. I'm really am impressed. And I've got the bag on order, but the bag looks a bit oversized to me and not very practical. So I would suggest maybe just buying the CP8 bag from QSC for that speaker, just to keep it as small as possible. But yeah, I'm very, very happy. So let's come here and see what we're saying. Okay. Yeah, Jim, congrats on the guitar. That's awesome. So question, Bose S1 Pro or EV8? EV8. EV8, 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 EV8. Let's break that down a little bit more than that. What is a good thing about the Bose S1 Pro over the other options? Well, the Bose S1 Pro is it's the absolute smallest and lightest battery-powered PA replacement speaker on the market right now, as far as I know. At least it's the smallest one that actually does any good. All right. It's still a bit smaller because it's a smaller speaker. It's 6 inches and not 8 inches like the EV. It's a bit lighter, and it's 150 watts versus 400 watts. But honestly, for the sake of a little bit of a slightly bigger box and a pound of weight extra, I would take the EV every single time. The Bose has no app control. If it can sound great with certain things. Certain acoustic guitars in the Bose can just sound excellent. Some can sound really bad. And then when they sound really bad, you can't do anything about it. There's no app. There's no advanced control. I'm totally in love with the EV. You know, and I've discovered something today that's really a good feature as well, that I'm going to make a separate video just about one of the features in the EV that's great for acoustic guitarists. I might not tell you what it is today, because someone might make the video ahead of me, but I'm going to make that video. I'm absolutely blown away. There's a few things they should add. There's no phase control. They should add a phase switch. I mentioned there's no low cut. There is a low cut, as was pointed out to me. There's actually a low cut preset, but if you want that preset for something else, there's a crossover. If you're using a sub, that also works as a low cut, basically. And you can also just take out a load of bass as well, so that's fine. The effects are only one at a time. See, I just know people will complain about this stuff, and rightly so. It would be much better if you could have 2 effects at once, but I don't need it. I'm being selfish now. I don't need that. I need a great... I did a video just on the effects. The way I would use this, first of all, I wouldn't even try to plug a duo into this. Someone said to me, why can't we plug 4 input? The problem is, once you plug 4 inputs into this speaker, you're going to really slam the power amp, right? I believe a speaker like this is made for one musician, a singer, a saxophone player, a guitarist / singer, maybe like me, right? So in this thing, I use the Voice Live 3 Extreme into 1 input. It still gives me 1 more input to have a guest singer or a quick speech or something. But even if, let's say I didn't use a pedal, let's say I go straight into this. And by the way, that means I can perform anywhere, which is really exciting. So I could plug my mic into input 1 and my guitar into input 2. All I want is a little bit of a nice reverb. So I just chose my favorite reverb preset and just put a little bit more on the guitar, a little bit less on the voice, and then choose a preset for each, use the EQ on each. There's then a global EQ and a global parametric EQ, which is tons of options. I know it's not a parametric EQ on the guitar channel, but if there's some frequency on the guitar you really want to get rid of, then just notch it out of that. You don't need it on both. It all gets too complicated. So there's tons of EQ options. The effects are excellent, and I only need 1 effect at a time, so I'm okay with that. And I know, again, this might not suit you. I'm just talking about myself. You can power a pedal from it. You can charge your phone from it while you're performing, which is great. The battery lasts a long time, which is great. The compression's really nice. It's got compression on each channel, and it really works very well. I tested that. And I'm absolutely kind of in love with the speaker. I really am. I really love it. And everything just sounds good. It sounds good. It's got that line out. So if you bought 2 of them, you could have 2 of them and slave one into the other. So have your main speaker, like I set up how I just said, and then send that into the other one. If you pair the 2 over the Bluetooth, if you then play a song over your phone, it's in stereo. That's really nice. Can you imagine you get hired for a wedding to do the background music at a wedding or a corporate event, and you just walk in the venue, set up 2 stands, put them on the stands, and stream to it, and it comes out in stereo. You're going to have 400 watt speaker, 400 watt speaker coming out in stereo. I don't think people are praising this product enough. The videos I've seen are just, oh, let's get a video out to be first, and we're a store, let's make a video. And if Sweetwater's video was a bit, meh. I'm excited because I have tried I've been using the other speakers. I've also been using more powerful speakers because I don't. The battery power speakers to me are useless if I don't need battery power. I'd rather take the CP8. That's why I bought the CP8. I'd rather take a 1,000-watt speaker with no features and have that extra quality of sound, which you really get from that over the battery speakers. But this is almost, in my opinion, as good as the CP8. It's not quite as loud. There's not quite as much headroom. But the fact that it gives you those features that are truly useful and musical and sound good is really cool. Like, I want to open the app with this because the features in that app are really well thought out. Yes, they need to add a phase switch. They could refine a couple of little things in there, but that's about it. Like, it's truly useful. And people say to me, should I buy what acoustic amp should I buy? Don't buy an acoustic amp. Buy this. Because acoustic amps are more money than this. They often sound terrible on the voice, horrible on voices. And they don't have all those EQ options built in. And with those EQ options, you can really shape your acoustic guitar sound as well. Because if you've got something like a pickup that has a lot of feedback issues, you can sit there and just make a notch with all the 8 filters on the output EQ and take all those out. And there's your acoustic amp with your custom EQ profile baked in, which you can then send to front of house. So it becomes a mixer and a monitor and an acoustic amp for the stage. And it's so light, you can just take it everywhere. So I was thinking that last night. I went to a jam night last night nearby the apartment. And the lovely PA, but it was the sound was awful. The sound was too much reverb, and the guitar was feeding back because the sound guy didn't know my stuff. I just thought I should have taken this. I should have taken this, stuck it on the stage as a monitor, given him a line out, and just said, set everything flat, and I'll just control it myself. And then I have my monitor programmed at home how I want it. And if there's some problem on stage, I can just adjust it and not have to worry about a sound engineer doing my sound wrong. Because sound engineers are great, but it's really should be part of your team. It should be someone that you work with all the time. Someone just showing up at a big room and having some sound engineer do your sound and guessing what you want and guessing what the monitor mix is doing, that's usually a complete disaster, in my opinion. So I'm really happy. I'm really excited. Can you tell? I am genuinely excited by this Everse thing, and I'm really enjoying it. Now, just let me put this in here though. Would I take this over a QSC K10.2? No. Why would I? I already have the pedal with all the effects built in, and if I can plug that into a 10.2 and have a 10-inch speaker with 2,000 watts of headroom, I'm going to take that, right? But if I have to travel light, or I don't want to carry that weight, or I want the extra input with the effects, no hesitation. This is really, really impressive for what it is. It's a noticeable step up from the Bose and the JBL, in my opinion. It's a step up on the ladder, and a new benchmark to hit, because the Bose doesn't have an app at all. The JBL has an app. They're going to get the new app, but it's not as loud as this, etc., etc., etc. So this for me is the new benchmark. It's got a DC power out. It's got a USB power out. It's got a foot switch to turn the effects off, which other ones don't have, and people love that. It's really, really cool. So that's what I think of it, and I'm really happy that I've used it twice this week in practice, and it worked great both times. Oh, interesting. So the Headrush speaker, the doctor's talking about the Headrush speaker. A lot of people use these with their modelers. Actually, that's another video I could make, isn't it? Using it with a modeler. So a lot of people use these. They're very affordable. These are only $250. Isn't that crazy? Let me just show you on the screen. $250. That's an absolute steal for a 1x8 2,000 watt speaker. I have to say, it's very impressive. I haven't used one. Let me see what the weight is. I'm kind of interested now. 19.49 pounds. It's actually not bad, is it? This is actually lighter than the CP8 and is like $500 cheaper, or sorry, half the price, and supposedly more powerful, which is, I don't know if I can believe that. Anyway, that I can see why these are popular. I'll just say that, but I haven't tried one. But he's saying that they also scratch easily. I guess it doesn't really matter if this scratches easily because of the price. But with the EV at $750, I expected the better quality coating on it. But yeah, I'll tell you what, that's actually worth checking out one of those. If you're on a budget and you can get a 2,000 watt 1x8 powered PA speaker for $250, that's nuts. How are they doing that? Now it doesn't have app control. I don't know how they've measured the volume or what the SPL is or anything. So I'm not going to get too excited, but the reviews are very good and that price is just awesome. $250. Wow. Holy cow. Okay. Oh. Anyway, not battery powered, doesn't have the app, so it doesn't interest me, but that's a good price. Yeah, I expected more from the finish on the EV, definitely. All right, so yeah, I was thinking that if you've got small hands when you pick up the speaker, you probably don't scratch it, but that's not really an excuse. That's not really a solution. How come they didn't add a sweepable mid-range for guitar? So this is a good point. The master EQ has treble middle bass, so that's all preset. The channel, let's say you plug into channel 1, you also have treble middle bass. So again, it's preset. There are presets, so if you choose some of the presets, it will then shape the mid-range, but that's a preset again. The global output has a very good sweepable EQ, parametric EQ, but it affects everything. So if you only play guitar, acoustic guitar, then you do have that, and that's fine. The only problem is if you sing as well, it's going to affect the voice. So I guess it would be nice to have that parametric EQ on every channel, or maybe the ability to assign it to one channel only, or maybe, like you said, the ability to set the mid-range frequency of the mid-range on one of the channels or something. I don't know. And I guess there's ways around it. I guess you could start by doing the acoustic guitar and setting the mid-range for that guitar and then dial in your vocals and maybe add some mid-range back. I don't know. Yeah, it's not as comprehensive as the latest JBL app is. That has parametric EQ on every channel and multiple effects on every channel. So that's a lot more powerful. What I'm trying to say, I guess, is it hasn't caused me a problem yet. The EV approach is weird. There's a ton of EQ options in there, but you don't really need them. I don't need a global 3-band EQ, a 3-band EQ on the channel, a preset control, a way of like adding a subwoofer crossover, which effectively cuts the low end, and then a master output parametric EQ. I would just like to have a parametric EQ on each channel. I think that would be a better move. Parametric EQ on each channel and a global output. And then maybe you could put that into simple mode. It just gives you a 3-band EQ. So simple or advanced. I don't know. There's a lot of ways of doing this. Sometimes when you do what I just mentioned, it gets too complicated. Sometimes it's better. Sometimes it's worse. So like I said, I haven't had a problem so far having the compromise of the two. If you only play one instrument, if you only play acoustic solo instrumental music, then you're laughing. There's no problem. But yeah, if you want to have two instruments like a voice and a guitar with radically different EQs, you might have a problem. But I've not had that problem yet, so it's not a deal breaker by any means. There is a bag. I don't like it. I ordered it. I'll probably cancel it or return it once I've reviewed it. It's oversized to fit other gear with it, like a wireless system, and it hasn't got the handle pass-through. I like the handle on the unit, and I don't want the bag to be bigger than the unit. I want the bag to fit snugly. So I would either order a custom bag from someone like Studio Slips, or I would just use the CP8 bag, because apparently that fits it really well, or it may fit it really well. So I'll try that one and just, I want the bag to fit it. I don't want the speaker that I'm carrying around on the train to be oversized in the bag and moving around. I basically just want the speaker with a very snug bag around it, you know? Staley said, this might be a solid option for me, in all honesty, if I play it more. Yeah, definitely, 100%. Like, if you play acoustic guitar and you want to get out there and play, this is it. I mean, I swear I could... I mean, even the band gigs I do, I swear if I had two of these, I could probably do any gig. Two of these. One of these would probably do 90% of what I do, solo shows. Two of these would do any duo gig, and possibly even the vocals at a band gig. Maybe not. It wouldn't be quite enough, maybe, but it would. You could probably pull it off. But definitely, yeah. If one of these would probably keep most people going for a long time. And the great thing is, if you then buy a bigger PA system, this can be your monitor, which is really cool. David said, I like my 108. 108. Oh, do you have the Headrush? Is that what you mean? Yeah, I can't knock that price. I see why they're so popular. Those specs for $249 is amazing. And imagine if you've got that in the Black Friday sale or something, like $200. So that's just a complete steal. Hey, Padded Room, how you doing, buddy? So you got two of those 108s. Yeah, I have heard good things about them. I'm not going to put it in the same category as the EV that I've been talking about, because the whole point with the EV really is that it's even lighter and it's got the app built in with the Bluetooth. It's also got what's the other thing? The battery power, of course. So it's a different product, but if you don't need those things, if you just want a way to amplify a Kemper or something, I mean, that's great. That is a great price. Although I haven't tried one. And again, with that, you could also use that as a monitor or something as well. It doesn't have Bluetooth, does it? No, that'd be a lot to ask for. Let me just check. No. So the built-in Bluetooth is very nice on the other ones too, because it allows you to get to the gig and stream the background music over the system, which is very useful. But yeah, that's impressive. I didn't realize they were 250. Yes, 249. That's nuts. That's so good. Now I thought this as well. Can I plug into the 3.5mm input and also play tracks through Bluetooth? That I haven't tried that yet. I was thinking that too. So sometimes I use the stomp pedal for the drums. I presume I can plug that into the 3.5. I was wondering about plugging an instrument into the 3.5mm jack. The problem is with that channel, it doesn't have all of the effects and compression and all that stuff. So channel 3/4 is really for music playback only, like iPod playback. And at that point, you may as well use the Bluetooth connection and not have a cable. So yeah, I will say that with the JBL Eon Compact, there is 3 inputs. And that can be useful if you want to have a kick drum, a guitar, and a vocal mic. But to me, the most important thing is the weight, the build quality, the volume, the battery life, but simply because the EV is so good about volume over the other ones, that's why I just make it work, you know. The other option is get a little tiny 4-channel mixer, like I have the Elite Acoustics mixer. It's so tiny it'll fit in a guitar case, and use that with something like a big QSC 10-inch 10.2 speaker, and then if you need battery power, use some kind of generator or small power unit. You get those things from Amazon. That's the other option. Then you get serious power. Then you get 4 real inputs: compression, global EQ, phase, everything in a tiny little pedal that can also be on the floor or on next to you on the mic stand, and a 2,000 watt high quality speaker. I mean, that still is the winner for me. And if you need Bluetooth, you just plug your phone into that mixer as well. That would be a great rig. In fact, that'd be a good video, wouldn't it? The mini 4 input mixer with the CP with the 10.2 speaker and the power generator versus the EV. The EV is still going to be more portable and less cables and things to plug in, but it won't have the professional sound and flexibility and power that the other one has, I mentioned. But, you know, with all gear, there's compromises. With all these battery-powered speakers, there's all these compromises. I personally like the compromises they've chosen with the EV. It suits me the best, I think, so far. So I don't know, John. I'd have to try that. Do you play in different tunings apart from the average drop D? I don't. I dabbled in it at one time. Years ago, I was trying to write some stuff in like sort of Joni Mitchell flavor, but I kind of stopped. I don't even really do drop D anymore. I just keep everything in standard all the time, to be honest, Jasper. I rarely do any of it. Usually it's simply because of time. There's one song that I detune for. It's Yellow by Coldplay. So with that song, it's very hard to make that sound good in standard tuning because it has that major 7 flavor. And I believe they tuned down 2 strings or more when they recorded it. So again, ideally, you would retune the whole guitar like they did and play it the same as the record. But just by tuning the high E down a half step, you can get a kind of fake, what's the word, fake Coldplay yellow sounding sound. And for me, that's enough, to stop playing and tune that down and check the pitch and tune it down, tune it back up and make sure it's in tune, make sure those strings haven't gone out of tune. For me, that's enough of a hassle already without having to do it again in the set. So the only other thing is like if I did 500 miles and I want to do it in D and not E because it's easier to sing, that sounds better in drop D because you get that low D that sounds like the low E if you're playing it in E. I might do that. If I finish with that song, I might do that. But I just try to avoid it. Probably mostly because I'm still learning to play in standard tuning, as Tommy Emmanuel says. And secondly, because it's going to slow down the set. It's going to make me stop and change the tuning. There's worse things, I guess. Sometimes I'll stop and look up a lyric or something. So I guess that's no different to that. But I just like to get the guitar in tune and leave it there usually. So yeah, I don't really. When I play Big Yellow Taxi, I don't retune for that. I just play it in open A, not open A, in the standard tuning A. But I will say playing in different tunings is good and it is more interesting for the audience because they get different sounds, don't they? So John said, I was thinking about plugging my Beat Buddy into the 3.5mm jack and also play tracks through the Bluetooth. Is that doable? That's a great point. If you plug the Beat Buddy into the 3.5, that is what it's really there for. That would be cool. Still play tracks through the Bluetooth? Well, I don't know. I haven't tried it. I think you should be able to. But then you'll lose that volume control. You're sharing a channel, which isn't ideal, but yeah, you should be able to. But are you going to do that? Are you going to use the Beat Buddy on some songs and then tracks on other songs? I feel like a lot of people would use the backing tracks on that channel or Beat Buddy or similar. But if you're saying to me you're going to use the Beat Buddy on one song and then you're going to use a full backing track on another song, yes, I guess that makes sense. I'll have to try it. I haven't tried it. I don't see why not. Unless when you plug in the 3.5 cable, it mutes the output. I don't know. Ah, welcome. Would it be suitable for a keyboard arranger? I believe so. I believe so. Because you've got that 8-inch speaker, a lot of volume headroom. In fact, I think it might be really suitable for that. If you're talking about like a digital piano or synth or something, because there's a couple of thoughts on this. You could plug into that 3-4 input with the stereo cable, but what's the point unless you've got 2 speakers? So forget I said that. because you've got the 8-inch speaker, I believe it will sound better than the Bose for the piano, because you get those really low notes on the piano and the synth. You've also got all those EQ options that I mentioned earlier, and very good effects as well, and it's battery powered. I think for a piano, if you just play piano, I think it'd be amazing. And if you did buy 2 of them, you could send the left output of your piano into one and the right output of the other one into the other one, and have them behind you and have stereo. And you'd have all that power. You'd have a total of 800 watts in stereo, and you can have them like beside you. I think that would sound really incredible. I think people are maybe expecting too much from this. I think some people wanted a 4-track mixer and all this stuff. I really think it's going to be most suitable to, like, if you just sing. I think if you have a band or a duo, I think each musician should have one. So say you've got a bass player that sings and you play acoustic and sing. I think you should each have one, and either mix your own sound and just have it, your stuff through each speaker, or link them together via a mixer and have everything coming out of both. I don't think a 400-watt speaker is powerful enough to put 4 things into. If you only play piano, if you just sit and play piano background music, one of these would be absolutely perfect, because you've got all that power, all that flexibility just for the piano sound. But like I said, pianos tend to have stereo outputs, so running 2 of them with a piano would sound incredible. And then if you want to sing as well, like I said, you could run into a mixer and run into 2 of them. I don't think you need 2 of them, by the way. I believe that one of those could do, like I said earlier, 90% of everything that I do. It really is that powerful. There's just a weird thing with the EV. I don't understand EV. They have like the volume setting for the channel 1 and 2. So you plug in your guitar to channel 1, and there's a volume setting, and you set that so it clips, then you back off so you're not clipping. Then for the 1, 2, 3, and 4 inputs, or whatever it is, 1, 2, and 3 plus 4, you then get a master volume, but then the speaker has a master volume. So it's really weird. These companies have such weird ways of doing things. I would rather personally see like a gain setting, so you get it clipping and then back off slightly, and then a volume setting for each instrument for mix them, and then a master out on the main speaker. I don't understand why they have a volume on each one, which will set the gain, but also act as like a volume channel control. And I guess what you do then is you set the mic, the loudest instrument you want, which would be the mic in my case, and then back the other ones down to make them sit with that. Then you set the volume, but then you have a master volume. It's like there's 2 master volumes. I don't understand why that is. That's why I'd like to speak to EV in person. But it doesn't matter, because it only gets to 100. I mean, only, but it gets to 121 dB anyway. So no matter how you set all those volume controls, you're never going to get it louder than that. And just by setting it, just by quickly setting it at my gig, I got to 121 dB. So you don't need to overthink it, I don't think. Just don't clip anything and you're fine. Jasper says, I agree. It takes forever to retune. Do you always only take 1 guitar to a set? Open tuning is so sweet at times. Yeah, if I have like a wedding or a big party, I'll take 2 guitars. I'll probably like throw the Yamaha silent guitar in the back of the trunk, just in case the worst happened. But I actually think that's not. I don't think that's necessary. Here's my tip for this stuff. When you have an acoustic guitar with the sound hole clear, remember some guitars don't have sound holes or have an offset sound hole. If you have an acoustic guitar and the sound hole is clear, there's no controls in there and there's no anything, it's not a weird offset guitar, then carry a passive, cheap, reliable sound hole pickup. Sometimes they need a screwdriver to install it, so also carry the screwdriver. If the pickup dies, then just put that in there quickly and plug that in and get through your gig. You don't need to take another guitar. I only see myself needing another acoustic in case it got stolen or broken. I don't think that's ever going to happen, knock on wood. So the spare sound hole pickup is my top advice. Always have that in the guitar case. Having said that, if I got a big gig, I will still take a backup guitar as well. Now, some people would take 2 guitars and use one for alternate tunings. No, I can't. I just don't want that much stuff. And that's why, like, the Variax acoustic was good. You could actually set those tunings on the guitar virtually. but I didn't love the guitar enough in the first place. So I'm not against it. I feel like it's partly laziness. I could change my tuning. What you could also do is when you take a break and come back for the next set, you could tune to the other tuning in that break. And then when you come back on, you could do 2 or 3 songs in that tuning. And then when you're telling a story and thanking the audience, if you've come back again, you could then be retuning. So there's little tips, there's little tricks and things you can do. I honestly believe for me it's the fact that I only play a few songs that are originally in different tunings, and I just because I don't do it all the time, I would forget what the shapes and things were. So I just stick to open tuning. Apart from yellow, I changed for that one. So John does both Beat Buddy and tracks. Depends on the song. I don't have tracks for everything, but can use the Beat Buddy for everything. But you don't use them both at the same time, right? You don't use the Beat Buddy and then play tracks because they wouldn't stay in sync, I presume. So as long as the Bluetooth and the input both work simultaneously, then you should be fine. But I haven't tested that yet. If my pickup ever died, I could always stick an extra mic in front of the guitar to get through the gig. Yes, and I do carry a spare mic because I had a mic die on me at a gig a few months ago. So I do carry a spare mic. That's a good point. I could also use that. But I think I would just struggle with that. Depending on how loud the venue is. It's not a bad idea to have a soundhole pickup on you anyway, because soundhole pickups are so feedback resistant. Say there was some weird issue with feedback, you could use that. Or if another guitarist forgot their pickup, you could give them that. Whereas if you tried to play like a Cole Clark against a guitar was using an old microphone, I think they would really struggle to get enough volume before feedback. So I really like the idea of carrying the soundhole pickup around. It's so small and light, and just bury it in the bottom of the case, John said not at the same time. Okay, so you could potentially switch, right? You could plug the Beat Buddy in with a cable and then switch it over to your iPad for those songs, but I know it's a hassle. If they both work at the same time, that would be really great. Staley said a lot to think about with gigging. Well, keep it simple. I like to keep stuff simple. That's why I just have I try to be open-minded. I don't want to sit here and say, well, I don't do that, so I don't care. That's rude, right? And sometimes I might even take some of your ideas and change what I do at my shows. But for me, I found something that works for me, and it works really well. So the Voice Live 3, either the Play Acoustic or the Voice Live 3 Extreme, because it does all that stuff for it. It does all that processing. And then you can plug it into any system and have that same sound. So yesterday I used the Voice Live 3 Extreme into input 1 of the EV eVerse 8. What that meant was I can potentially plug in the guitar and the mic and the Beat Buddy into that pedal and run and mix all that into one channel on the EV. I could then plug a guest singer or a mic for speeches, wireless mic, into input 2 and apply effects. And I could also stream from my phone incidental music to the Bluetooth if I wanted to. That opens up a ton of flexibility to me with that one speaker. That's a lot of stuff, right? That would just do anything I needed to. Now, do I ever do that? No. Do I ever need to do any of that? Not really. All I ever really need is my acoustic, my mic, and plug that into some kind of speaker. But I like that flexibility, and I like the idea that if I forgot my pedal or the pedal broke, I can still plug into the speaker and have the effects and the EQ and the compression in the speaker. It's like backup of a backup of a backup, all in the palm of your hand, that weighs lighter than most big speakers in the first place. So I love the flexibility of all that. That's what I like about it. And I think that's a good way to start, Staley. Get stuff that is flexible. So get stuff that's good quality and flexible. And if you ever outgrow it, you can still use it. Like I said, if you outgrow the battery-powered speaker, you can buy a bigger PA system, but you can use the battery-powered speaker outside on the lawn for the wedding ceremony or as a monitor for the drummer. That's what I would do. These battery-powered speakers are great because if you've got a drummer in your band, you can put that next to them and say, there you go. I've set up for you. There's a volume on the back. If you want to change just the overall volume, there's no there's no power plugged in. It's because it's battery. Or you can just have one cable running from a monitor output into that, which you could even do, if that was a problem, you could even do that wirelessly. It's not a good idea because of latency, but one cable from the auxiliary send of your mixer to that speaker, and they've got a really high quality monitor next to them as well. I like stuff that's versatile and flexible. And my only complaint, like the S1, let's take the S1 Pro for example. It's a great product. It's still better because it's smaller and lighter. It doesn't sound good with all my guitars. With the silent guitar, it sounds horrible, like really honky and weird on the mid-range. And you haven't got a mid-control. You can't do anything with that. No one gives the Bose S1 Pro a hard time. Everyone just says the Bose S1 Pro is an amazing device. It's just got treble and bass and reverb and a couple of presets. It doesn't have any control. And then EV released a speaker with an app and there's no sweepable mid, and people say there's no sweepable mid. Maybe they're more harsh because it has an app, and the app means there are no excuses. You've got an app here, why don't you have it? I understand that. And I do hope they'll add those things in the future. But for me, there's enough there. And it all sounds so good. Like the effects sound so good. The guitar sounds so good. This morning I was playing the guitar with the Lyric pickup, the Lyric mic, through that speaker, and I just got completely lost in it for an hour or so. I was playing guitar. It's great. Yeah, I'm really, really happy with it. Now, will I keep the other two? I don't know. Maybe because I run the band and it'd be good to have those as monitors. But if I could only have one at this point, I definitely would choose the EV. Based on the power alone. I love that power that it has. So, yeah, so that's going well. So I'll try and do the videos I mentioned. I'll try and do more of them. I'm definitely going to compare the sound of the three. I'm definitely going to do a Q&A video where I answer people's questions. So, for example, John, where you've asked me if you can run both at the same time, I'll do that test and I'll let you know in that video. I'll put your question. If you do me a favor, if you put that on the actual video itself that I made, the initial review, make sure it's there because I'm going to go through those videos, the comments, and I won't remember this chat from today, so I'll go through the comments in the videos that I've posted, and I'm going to answer the question. So if you've got that there, I'll definitely answer that. I'll definitely plug in like a stomp pedal and run Bluetooth and make sure I can do both at the same time, and I'll answer that in the video. But yeah, I one more time, I'm very impressed. I don't know why people aren't raving about it more. Normally, in years gone by, when a battery-powered speaker came out, the acoustic guitar forum would go nuts, and they would not stop talking about them. Maybe they're a bit of old news now. Maybe now people have them. They don't care so much anymore. But I really feel this is a noticeable improvement on those previous products. So that's why I'm so excited by it. And I'll definitely continue to use it. Now, at my shows right now, Tuesday and Thursday, they have a 8.2 QSC, so I'm not going to take it there. And on Fridays, I have a CP8 at the venue, so I'm not going to take it there as well. It's not that good, but any busking, outside party, wedding reception, some venues also, by the way, in the past have said to me, I never forget, I played a jewelry store years ago. And I set up at this jewelry store, and I don't have much equipment, right? I have myself, my guitar. My guitar plugs into the pedal. My mic plugs into the pedal. Now, you can't get around that unless you go wireless, right? And the pedal plugs into the speaker, and the speaker plugs in with power. And they said to me, can you please not have those cables? And I wanted to say, well, I'm a musician. Look, I can't do this stream without this cable. Now, looking back to that, I could have done. If I had the EV back then, there's no power cable. I could have run a wireless mic into it and a wireless guitar into it and had 0 cables. I wouldn't have had a looper, but I could have actually, turning back time, I could have done that gig completely with no cables, and it would have sounded great. And the venue would have been more happy with me. Some venues don't care about your looper and your harmony pedal. They just want a clean stage. And I do understand that as well. Also, I haven't mentioned it today, but don't forget the EV Everse 8 also comes in white. Because so many times I've reviewed speakers and people said to me, do they come in white? And I say, why? And they say, because we do weddings. We want everything to be white. So EV speakers are actually available in white, which is really, really cool if that's what you do. Even the, what's it called? The Evolve. The Evolve is an interesting system. This is the system I wanted to check out because everyone is always talking about them. And I never checked them out. And one day, after the impression with this speaker, I'm going to try one of these at some point. So look, this is the Evolve 30M. People will love these things. But look, you see, you can get them in white. So that wedding DJs love these because the whole system is available in a white color. See that? The bag is still black, of course. You see, so if you do weddings, they love this thing. And then, of course, there's the black version as well. The only thing that frustrated me is I was already kind of hyped about these systems from what people are. So many of my friends use these. So many glowing reports on these. But I noticed like the app on this one, despite being the same company and the same app and everything, it doesn't have the feedback buster. It doesn't have some of the features that the battery-powered speaker has, which I find really bizarre. It doesn't have the parametric EQ. So I wonder if they'll add that. But it does give you more volume and those 4 dedicated inputs plus the stereo input at the end. That's really nice. All right, so that's really cool. And you could also have the Bluetooth as well on that one. And then something really cool about the 50M. I know. And why are they all so different? Why does each of the product have a slightly different feature set? I find that really annoying. They should all be the same. It's like they've got different people working on each product. But the 50M has a really cool feature. The volume is the same. It's a bigger speakers. Therefore, you do get more volume. But the amplifier power is the same, right? Now, with this one, there's a really cool feature. You can get the 50, which is just like a regular speaker, one input kind of thing, 1 or 2 inputs. The 50M stands for mixer. So this, again, has the built-in mixer, same inputs as the other one. But look at this. I love this feature here, the Quick Smart Link. What you do is you buy 2 of these, and you run a Cat5 style network cable between the 2. You plug them both into power, and the audio and everything is sent over that digital connection. So it stays digital quality, and it links the mixers, so you then get double the mixer inputs on the app. So you don't just slave one into the other one and send a copy of the signal to the other one. They work together. That's a really nice feature. I love that. But it's not on the other units. It's only on the 50M, it seems. And I just think it's a shame that the EV don't just standardize these units when they're all the same family and make them all work together. But I think that's a really nice feature. Imagine you get to a band gig, right? And you've got 2 of these. And you've got this huge sub. So because some people want to buy subs for their PA systems. Well, this is a sub. You've got the sub and the top. You have one on each side of the stage. You plug a power cable into each one. You run one cable between the 2. And then from your iPad or your iPhone or Samsung, whatever, you can control the mix of both of them. And you're ready to go. I think that's really cool. The only way it could be even better is if this was battery powered, because then you could just show up, plonk one down, plonk the other one down, run one Cat5 cable between them, and start playing. I mean, you can DJ any wedding and sound incredible, especially if you bought the white one, right? Actually, I'm not sure if you can get this one in white, but I presume that you can. So yeah, I really like what EV are doing here. I just find some slight inconsistencies. So EV, if you're watching this, are you going to add the anti-feedback to this unit when it's on the Everse 8? I don't understand why it's on one and not the other. And I don't see you talking about it on any videos or anything, so please do let us know. I know they're not watching this, but I'll put it out there anyway. I'll stop talking about it now. Anyway, most beautiful song in Open G, St. Peter's Autograph by Jason Isbell. You'll love it. Good night and thanks. Oh, I'll check it out. Yeah, I'm not averse to open tunings. They're good. They're just more work. Hello, Aaron and everyone in the chat. As you probably guessed, I'm working again. Lee's just working all the time. He needs a day off. All right, so just one more piece of news this week. I'll just throw in here. Might make a video about it. I was going to do it tonight, and I'll see. Helix 3.50. So there's some firmware coming out. Let's finish with firmware now. Some firmware coming out. So I said before, Quad Cortex 2.0 is in beta. That could come out anytime. And I'm going to do a video about that and talk about that. Helix has been very quiet. They released 3.50 with the new cab engine. Lots of people are raving about it. I haven't really spent much time with it. So I was going to sit and do my own thing. I was going to sit and play through it with the headphones. And then I was going to get the Kemper and get my clean and crunch sounds, like just two sounds that I think sound excellent. And then forget that, play the Helix for a while and dial in some sounds that I think make me happy. And then compare those to the Kemper sounds and be like, how much of an improvement is this? So I was going to do that. But, honestly, lately, again, you see, that doesn't really excite me because I think I already know the answer. Even though I'm going to try and have an open mind, I just don't think I'm going to like it as much. So that's why I'd much rather make videos about the EV speaker because that's really got me excited. Even though I know the Helix video will get views, it doesn't excite me the same way. But I'm going to give it a chance. I want to keep an open mind with this stuff, and I want to keep up to date with the products. So I still have Helix Native and the HX Stomp. By the way, I think the HX Stomp is a great acoustic pedal, the best, probably one of the best acoustic pedals there is on the market. But I want to try the electric guitar stuff on that and see what they've done to it, just to keep up to date. But I was thinking today about gear, and I just thought to myself, all this like, can we make acoustic guitars sound like a mic? Can we make a Helix sound like a mic? Why not just use the real thing and use a mic? Why the Lyric sounds so good in my Martin, the Lyric pickup, because it's a mic, but it's not just a mic in front of the guitar. It's hidden away in the guitar. It doesn't feed back so much. So that, or my real Mesa amp, is so portable and light, and it's got a line out where you could run. So if you had two of these EV speakers on a wedding band, and you ran the line out or a mic off of the cab, the real guitar cab, into them, you just have an incredible sound, I believe. And then you'd have the amp behind you and just use the amp as it is. I don't know. But I do, as I have the access to try the new software, I'm gonna try it. And I might make a video. I might do, but I am going to talk about negative products, but they're not my first priority. So I once said I wouldn't talk about negative products at all because I don't want to be negative on here. But I think it will help people when they're buying things. But they're not videos that I'm rushing to make. The videos that I'm rushing to make are, my goodness, this new thing is awesome. It's a big step up, and you should definitely check it out. And sponsored or not, preferably not sponsored because it's even more believable. That's the sort of video that I want to make. Right? Over this new thing came out and I think it's just okay. I don't really like it. It just feels like such a drag to go through that kind of stuff, All right, Brian says, I was just curious, with all this talk about battery powered PAs, isn't it about time for Bose to come out with a bigger, better version of the Bose S1 Pro? Yes, it is, but isn't it time for all the companies to do something better all the time? Like, I was thinking it'd be cool to have an Eon 1 Compact Pro. It'd be cool to have a Bose S2 Pro. It would be cool to have a new Mackie system with better quality. Even with EV, they frustrate me already. I'm like, why don't they fix this? Why don't they add a phase switch with firmware? And then I look back at the Evolve towers, and they haven't updated those in a while, and they're missing features that the Everse has. So I'm thinking, well, they're not doing that. See, no one really releases firmware enough or new products enough to keep the gear fans happy. That's the problem. With Bose, I wonder what's happening with Bose. I have a feeling they might. Oh, I don't know how to say it. You know what I mean? Bose might just kind of stay where they are, I feel. JBL, when they get the new app working with the compact and they make the new app even easier to use, that could up that game. But the problem I have with those again is they're just not loud enough. It's so this is really what it comes down to. It's incredibly impressive, and I don't know how they did it. That EV put a 400-watt amplifier into a 17-pound battery-powered speaker with app control. That is really, really impressive because no one else has done it that I know of. No one else has made a speaker that light that sounds that good with that much power in it, and that's why it's cool. So it's really impressive. That's a new benchmark. So I'd love to see an Eon Compact 2 from JBL, 400 watts, same size, the new app. That could squash the EV overnight. But we can only go on products that we have at the moment, right? At the moment, you've got the JBL with the old app, which actually I think I might prefer to their new app, but hopefully that will change soon. The Bose with no app at all. Just don't understand why that thing is so impressive. Some people will say things like, well, the Bose doesn't have an app. I just plug in, I set the treble and the bass, and I play music. And that is a good point, right? If you buy a tube amplifier and it's just got a one control, like tone control, and a master volume, yeah, you get limited and you just have to make the most of what you've got. I understand that. Pretty cool. But what if you hate the sound? What if there's something really annoying? What if you need to dial that sound out? Then it's a problem. So I do think these apps are the future. I think the Bluetooth control, the Bluetooth streaming audio, the apps, the firmware possibilities. I really think apps are important with things like mixers because it just gives you all this control over shaping the sound. And you know, even if like my electric guitar amp only has one knob on it, when I run it through the PA, if I can then go in with an app on the PA and then shape that a bit more, that's really useful. So I think mixers should be digital like that. So I definitely think there's a big market. I'm not seeing people get excited about this new speaker like they used to. So I wonder how much of a market there really is anymore. But there has to be a big market because it's not just for acoustic guitarists, it's also for electric guitarists, saxophone players, singers, DJs, yoga teachers, etc., etc., etc. I'm just going to check on Acoustic Guitar Forum to see if there's any more talk. Someone did a comparison with the JBL and the Bose. Like I said, I haven't watched it. I'm going to do my own anyway. I'm just having a look to see what people say. Nothing that really... Yeah, someone's saying that 3 channels isn't enough for a duo because then you want 4 channels. You always want another channel. Yeah, I was not really getting the kind of conversation that I thought I would see. And I just wonder if maybe some people are just happy with what they have already, which is possible. But don't forget, another massive one for me, the Bose doesn't power a pedal. It's so cool the way you can get an adapter for the JBL to power from the USB ports. You can then power like a VoiceLive 3 Extreme. So you can. I did that once. I played a backyard party, and I took the JBL Compact. I plugged this adapter cable in, and it powered the Play Acoustic, so I could still loop because I was just playing solo, no voice, and it was awesome. So don't forget the EV has that in a USB socket. So the problem is mine is the old USB type. I have to get a new cable. They don't know if they make them, but it also has an actual barrel connector. That's even better. So if I get that cable, I run that barrel connector out into the VoiceLive 3. You'll get the right cable because sometimes they have reverse polarity and stuff. And then it will power that pedal, and you still have a USB-C port to charge your phone at the gig in case. Because someone said to me, what if the phone dies and you can't use the app? Well, there's a screen on it. You don't need to use the app. You can use the screen on the back of the speaker. But if your phone dies at the gig, if it's USB-C, which I think all phones are going to USB-C in the next 2 years, you just grab your cable, plug it in the back of the EV, and it charges your phone while you're playing the gig as well. And then when you leave to get the train home, you've got a full battery. That's really great. Or if you use a wireless system, what you could do is you could have like the receiver plugged in and run the USB-C cable from that to that socket, like the like my USB what's it called? My Sennheiser XSW mic transmitter. Okay, so sometimes I want a wireless mic at a gig, right? Often I do for guest singers and speeches. So I'd plug the receiver straight into the back of the speaker. I could connect a short USB-C cable from the USB out into the of the receiver into the USB out of the speaker. That will be charging it while I'm playing. So that will always be 100%. And then the one that's plugged into the mic for the speeches, obviously that will drain. But then in the break, you could switch that cable, switch them over and charge that up. And then you've given it some more juice for the next set in case you only have, you know, a 4-hour gig or something. Just so many cool little features like that, you know. I also wonder if you could use the barrel connector out to charge the receiver and run a long USB-C cable out to the transmitter. I know that's stupid because it's not wireless anymore. But you could have it charging up while, you know, you could charge. My point is, I guess you could charge it up and then switch over to it once it's got enough charge. I don't know, just thoughts of like, it's just cool that it's got 2 power outputs where the Bose has nothing. Just think about that. No way to use that battery to charge other devices. You could even be on the subway and charge your iPad while you're on the subway, because you could run a USB-C cable out the back of the EV into your iPad and leave the iPad in the case with it, or have it on your lap or whatever, and it's charging that up while you're traveling. Or you could charge the transmitter of the wireless system while you're on the subway, because it could be plugged into the USB port, and then when you get to the gig, that's charged, and then you plug the receiver into that one, and even though you're starting the gig, it's charging it because it's charging it from the socket. There's just so many options. It's just so good. You know, it's just so cool. All right. So yeah. So I'm just going to ask you, I'm also happy that people are watching those videos. I knew they would. It's funny because when I got the battery-powered speakers years ago, no one was. I mean, there was less people doing YouTube videos. No one was really making videos on them. Now, when a new product comes out, there's 1,000 videos on the first day, so it's harder to make an impact. But I've been told that, you know, these days people are expected to get 1,000 views per video in this kind of market. So I want to try and get more views. I'm just so happy because the EV, like I said, it's not just an acoustic guitar product. It appeals to many different viewers, but it's also an excellent product for acoustic players like myself because it is a noticeable improvement on the other systems. So I'm going to try to make 3, 4, or 5 videos on it, maybe even more videos on it, because I want to discuss it more. So do me a favor if you wouldn't mind and click on those videos, give it a thumbs up, give it a comment. Feel free to ask any questions. I can make 1 or 2 follow-up videos with viewers' comments and questions on the speaker and address those in their own video. And I'm going to make a bunch of videos on the EV for sure. Then I'll see how it goes. I don't think it'll get as many views as those videos did in the past, but I think it'll get decent views. And like I said, I want to talk about it because I like it. And then I should be looking for something else to talk about that I like. Or maybe I'll try different pickups with it, or try electric with it or something. I just want the videos to be stuff that I'm genuinely interested in. Having said that, I will still try to make those videos. Like, people keep saying to me, "Oh, what happened with the SC custom shop, Martin?" And I have to keep telling them, well, I returned it. I had lots of issues with it personally. So I should just make that into a video because people are interested. Again, not to bash the guitar, but just to say, this is what happened. Watch out for this. If you get one, did you get one? Can you tell me what your experience was? Was it just me? Did it happen to you? Etc., etc., etc. So I think I think those videos are important and are valuable. I just don't have such a burning desire to talk about that. And not because I don't want to upset Martin. I mean, I just want to talk about what I see, what I receive, what comes out of the box. But I just get much more excitement out of talking about something that genuinely impresses me. There's something else that I want to talk about as well. I got a handheld recorder, like the stereo one we spoke about the other week, because I wanted something when I go to the guitar stores to record the audio with. So I've got the clip-on mics for the talking. I didn't have a way to record an actual guitar at a store. So now I've got something, and I also discovered that this is also really good. I got the Zoom one. No, not the Zoom. I got the Tascam one. I also discovered that it's really good for doing my reviews at home as well. I don't need to set up the Sennheiser mic in the room. This actually sounds better, I think. And I just record to it, dump it to the computer, and I go. But the really cool thing with that product is the latest firmware update has given it something called 32-bit float. 32-bit float it's just blown my mind. What it means is when you record digital audio most of the time, you have to set the level so it doesn't clip. Because when you clip and get distortion from analog recording, it can sound warm and nice, although it's still distortion. When you clip digital products, you get a horrible sound, right? It's awful. I had this problem when I went to the AES show. 32-bit float that this recorder has means you basically can't clip it. It's such a dynamic file that you can't clip the audio. What this means, so again, I'm excited. It means I can go to a guitar store with this recorder. Of course, I'm going to try to set the level roughly. I'm not going to go crazy, but if I set the level roughly, throw it down and start playing, say I get home and I clip the audio, and I really wanted to use that on a video, because I still shoot the video with my phone, that's fine, but it's the audio that's the problem. What it means is it won't be distorted. I won't have that problem. So I just plug it in, import it into Final Cut Pro, set the level, export it in the right way, and it's good to go. See, that's the kind of stuff I like, stuff that makes your life improved, makes life easier. That's really cool. That's a really cool feature. And it's a really good recorder. You know, it's compact, fairly compact, stereo microphones, touch screen. I can control it from my iPhone. The app mirrors what's on the screen of the device. And again, like, let's say on Wednesday I'm going to the Martin event. I have my phone and the video is fine, pretty much from a phone. But if Craig Thatcher is demoing that day and he's playing the vintage Dreadnought that I saw there before, I could say, Craig, can you play that? I could, as long as I put that recorder near him, even if there's not time to check the levels, if I just put it down next to him and then film him and say he suddenly starts going crazy and playing at double the volume with a thick pick, it doesn't matter, because when I get home, that audio will not be clipped. I can bring it in, I can edit it, and I can upload the video. I love stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff I want to talk about in videos, because it's like, well, I didn't know this was a thing. I want to share that with people, because I think that's like a game changer, right? That's a real game changer. That's not, hey, this new thing is a game changer, and I'm telling you this because I want to sell you something. So that's the difference for me. All right, let me know if there's any last questions, because I had a crazy week last week, and I'm gonna maybe think about doing the video of this Helix update tonight. So let me know if you've got any final questions before I say goodnight. I appreciate your deep dive into this product. So many of the gigs I've played over the last 2 years have been strictly battery powered. Keep up. Oh, excellent. Yeah, like I said, Brian, there's a combination here, the combination of things, and I'm really happy about that. I keep repeating myself, but finding products where, I mean, like, a product may be provided or not. I bought this one. I'm not going to say I don't want to buy a product. I don't want to do sponsored videos. Sponsored videos are important. You can't just buy everything if you want to make a video every day. You can't just buy something every day to make a video on. But the ideal situation for me for YouTube is to, buy the product, really deep dive it, outline every flaw, every pro, every con, try it at multiple real life gigs, give real world opinion and comparisons to other products. And I've got that luxury now of being able to do that with this product. So I'm definitely going to do it, because, if it didn't work out, I could have returned it. And if it works out, I've got the other two I could potentially sell and offset the cost. So that's also why I'm trying to make multiple videos. I want to get my money's worth, so to speak, as well. Even though it's something that I would use anyway, I want to just, when a product comes out that really hits a chord with me, I want to make sure I really talk about it a lot and get content from it. And also, it just really frustrates me that people don't talk about everything with this stuff. Like, no one else has mentioned that it scratches easily. And I know it doesn't really matter, but it does matter, because if you want to sell this in 12 months' time and it's covered in the scratches, it'll be worth less than, say, the Bose S1 Pro that's not scratched at all. So there's so many videos now. There's so many videos come out now when a new product releases, but they're all just flipping demos and stores trying to sell you stuff. I hate that. I don't want that. I want someone to use it. I sing through it, play through it, gig it. I almost took it out on the train Friday without a case. I want to just carry that thing around, throw it on the ground, have someone else sing through it, get some feedback from it, give it a kick. I want to actually see if it's going to really hold up. And also I want to see if there's an issue with it, if something stops working, if I call EV, what are they going to say to me? Are they going to say tough? Because I remember I called Bose a while ago about the battery not keeping the charge. It kind of fixed itself over time somehow. I think it just went to a deep sleep. But they basically said, you're going to have to send it back and pay us to repair it. And I said, well, it is an older product, but I believe this is a defect from the initial batch, and I don't see why I should have to pay all that money. I just won't bother. So it's like hundreds of dollars, or at least $150 plus shipping or something like that. So I really want to do the real world reviews, the real comparisons, the testing. Most importantly, when I play it in the living room, does it really make me happy and sound excellent, or does it just kind of do a job? So this is great. I'm very pleased with this. This has come at just the right time. It's just the right product. So that's why I'm going to make as many videos on it as I possibly can, and then look for more products like that. I mean, some of them I probably already own. I'll definitely talk more about the Cole Clark and really go in depth with that. And but I just want to focus on them and not stuff that's not really relevant to me, But so far, really am impressed. If you think about getting one, and especially if you can get one now with a return policy, like if you're in America, get one. It's excellent. Cool. Thank you, John. It's just a pleasure. It's such a pleasure to make a video when you like something. It's so annoying to make a video when you don't, Like if I had to make a video, like the Rodecaster Pro 2, all the influencers said it's great. So I got one, and then when I suddenly realized it doesn't work well in Logic Pro as an audio interface, I sold it at a loss. That was not fun. That was not fun to make those videos. Even though the video where I told people to be careful because I sold it at a loss got views, I didn't get enough views from that to make it worth my while losing money by selling the product. And I was also extremely disappointed. Like I really loved the product and I wanted it to work for me. And I was so disappointed that it didn't, and I'm just so frustrated that none of the reviewers or beta testers told them that. And they didn't fix it. And now I've not seen any updates for that for a long time. It's just annoying. So again, like the EV is not perfect, and there's certainly things they could add and improve, but there's no showstoppers on that like there was on the Rodecaster Pro 2. Like it's really great. There's a few things they've overlooked, but it's really great. And they could add those later on. If they do, that's great. If they don't, that's still fine. But I don't want to see any like showstoppers with these products. That's just completely annoying. Anyway, okay, I'm ranting now, so I don't want to be ranting too much, but I appreciate all your support. Thanks for joining me today. If you've got any questions on the EV, so I'm very focused on the EV right now. If you've got any questions on that, do post them in the videos about the product, and I will soon I'll make a video where I address those questions just in the video, short video. So look out for any videos coming this week. If you're new here, please subscribe and ring the bell. I really would appreciate it. I'm almost at 13,000 subscribers. Only a few more to go. And of course, 13 is an unlucky number, so let's get to 14 as soon as possible, please. No, I'm just kidding. Halloween is finished. But yeah, it's great. Watch out this week for videos. There'll be some. If not, I'll see you next Monday. I'm going to let you know how it goes on Wednesday at the Martin Experience event. That should be cool. I think Craig Thatcher is demoing guitars, and Chris Martin is telling his story and showing Martin prototypes. I'll try to at least get some pictures, if not video, from that event and share it with you next week. So as always, ring the bell, subscribe, watch out for any videos that go up, I don't really have a schedule apart from the Monday live stream, so just keep an eye open for those. And if you see one, please do click on it, leave a comment, and I'll see you again real soon. Yes, thank you, John. I appreciate it. No problem. Thanks for sharing your thoughts as well, Andreas. And like I said, when a product is that cool that comes out, it's absolutely no pain for me at all, because I'm excited to talk about it. And when I know other people are interested and I get the views, and everyone's a winner, right? Because I get views, I'm happy to talk about it, other people are learning about it, and together we can sort of figure out if there are any things that are missing. And I just hope that EV watch those videos and do address some things down the line. But I've learned not to hope for those things from companies, because often we're disappointed. We have to buy things for how they are today and not for how they might be made with a firmware update in 3 years' time. So bear that in mind. Thanks for moderating, Rosanna. We had no bots today, which is a nice change. Maybe YouTube have got rid of them finally. Take care. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next Monday, if not before. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
I'm not lost, but I'm not found. I'm not up, but I'm not